persecution that Jewish people and other minority groups faced came to a head in 1942. See, all that previous persecution, the identification, the isolation, the persecution, all really did one thing, is that it took groups of people that were within the German population, identified them and made them visible, and then took them out and separated them from the German population. And in 1942, the German government, the Nazis, realized that what would happen if all those groups disappeared at once. The image at the top left is a picture of the Wannsee Conference. It is the name of an area where a meeting took place between some Nazi leaders, and it's the first time that we have evidence, a written memorandum that says, why don't we kill everyone that we have in concentration camps? We could empty out the ghettos of Jewish people, and we could kill them all, and we could solve all of our problems. The name for this was the final solution. A solution to Germany's problems, a solution to war effort, a way to make money. We're not sure. But what was happening was that many people, mostly Jewish people, were transported after 1942 to areas like Auschwitz-Birkenau, picture above me, camps that were specially made to kill people. What would happen at these camps is that people would arrive on trains and they clearly would not know what was going to happen. They just know they were being moved. Transported for maybe 30 to 40 hours by train from places such as Norway, France, Italy, all landing in the same place and getting off the train to be separated into two lines. These lines would be separated by men and then pretty much anyone else, young people, children, women, elderly people. And what would happen is the male line would be separated left and right. One side would be put with the elderly women and children, the other side would go to a camp to live. That entire line of people on the left-hand side would essentially live in Birkenau for a matter of hours before they would be ferried into a room and killed via gas. The people that lived in Auschwitz would basically use those bodies as money. They would take gold teeth extracts out, they would cut off their hair, take their belongings, and all of the money made from their hair, belongings, glasses, mugs, suitcases, even, should we say, prosthetic limbs, all of it was used to fund the German war effort. Now, that process continued over the course of at least 3 years, and we know for a certain fact that at least 6 million Jewish people died as a result of human cruelty. Now, you need to know basically just that occurred. That's what happened, and that's what they were doing, and that's why they were doing it. But on top of it, you need to know two little bits more. Was there any Jewish resistance? And in fact, there was. There were groups of Jewish people who worked with other resistance groups to try and fight back against the Nazis, to attack them. There are some examples of the Warsaw Ghetto having uprisings against the Nazis, even another rising in a place called Treblinka, in a death camp, rising against the Nazis. But all of these resistance movements were stopped in some way. They were extremely rare because if it was to happen, death was the outcome. And there was not enough people resisting or able to resist to actively resist the Nazis at all. And then you think, right, why did, Britain, France, whatever, the Allies in World War II, why did they just not help? Why didn't they try and help? And the real answer is that they didn't know it was happening. 1942 is mid-World War II. You don't know what the other side are planning in a war, and they had no idea that these death camps existed until they were found and liberated in 1945, years after the killing had begun. Auschwitz is a worthwhile place to visit for anyone who is alive, frankly, but you need to understand these 5 questions to understand at least what the final solution is for your exams. What was the point of previous persecution? What happened at the Wannsee Conference in 1942? What happened in places such as Auschwitz? What examples of Jewish resistance exist? And why did nobody do anything? If you know the answers to those, you know the answers to this section. All right, good luck. I'll see you later.